Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's time for Below Grade Level. Let's talk about our crushes and have some fun.
You'll see there's a beauty standing. Is she really everywhere? A reflection. One always falls onto you. The other shy and quiet. Could there be two different girls who look the same at Sweet Valley, Sweet Valley?
Hello and welcome to Below Grade Level, the show where we take the books that we read as kids and read them as adults and ruin them. I'm one of your hosts, Jonathan Eaton, and with me as always is Bekah Eaton.
Hello.
And Chris Zaleski.
Hello.
How are you guys doing?
Pretty darn tootin'.
Darn tootin'.
Same here.
Darn tootin'.
Darn tootin'.
Too darn tootin'. Hot damn.
That's two tootins in.
Two. Okay.
Moving on.
Moving on. We have a special guest for this episode. I think first time since we've started doing this as an actual podcast, but she's an old friend who has joined us on podcasts in the past and is returning to read some Sweet Valley High with us. Please welcome Monica Gallagher.
Woo!
Yay!
Woo.
Sweet Valley for life.
How are you doing?
Good. It's Tootin' on a Tuesday. That's what it sounds like. everybody's
Tootin' on a
feeling.
Tuesday.
Tuesday tootin'.
Toots Day, as we call it in the hood.
So what is your, we have to ask this for all our first timers, or at least, you know, if we're doing a book with them for the first time, what's your relationship with Sweet Valley, if you have any?
Well, now I'm confused because I think I definitely read Sweet Valley Twins, but I'm not sure I made it all the way through Sweet Valley High because I remember the covers like very vividly, but I don't remember them being like this messed up. I think it was before something happened.
I wonder if that's like rose tinted glasses, because I didn't read Sweet Valley, but like I also don't remember these books being as messed up as they are.
Which is kind of upsetting when you think that you just like internalize all of it. And you're like, yeah, it's fine. It's normal. Like,
Yeah, this is part of the course.
Yeah, instead of really remembering it, it's just hiding in your subconscious. Like, I don't really want it there if I'm not aware of it, at least.
That's why I treat people bad. Like, oh.
Oh no, am I Jessica?
Oh, God.
No, none of us are Jessica.
I'd rather die.
Are you also trying to figure out what's behind Chris?
Yeah, it's a Sweet Valley book cover.
No, it's
Chris,
a board game by
game.
Milton Bradley.
a board game?
Yeah,
Get
that's
the
awesome.
absolute
Look, do you
fuck
see the
out of
Porsche?
town.
Yeah.
Is that Bruce
It's
Patman's
Patman's
Porsche?
Porsche.
Patman's
Patman.
I
Porsche.
love the artwork on it. It's the same as the covers of the books.
That's amazing. Wonder how much that goes for.
Probably way too much.
Got to get our hands on that Sweet Valley board game.
I used to have a Clarissa Explains It All board game.
Ooh.
But I don't-
my God.
I don't even remember how
You
it
must have
went.
learned so much.
She
Yeah.
explained so many things. I really don't remember. I feel like it was kind of like Girl Talk, where it was a lot of like dares and stuff.
Oh, I bet that's what the Sweet Valley board game is. I bet it's that type
Yeah.
of like it's a board game for girls.
Yeah.
Call someone.
Call a boy.
Call a boy.
Put
It
on
says,
two different colored socks.
Ruin his life.
Can you
Very
find
good.
your boyfriend in time for the big date?
Oh,
Ooh,
Oh.
yeah.
Ages
that's
8
the plot
and
of
up.
this book.
What if it's just that game like Guess Who, or what was it? Wasn't that a thing where it was like trying to find a date?
Mm-mm.
I thought Guess Who was like the matching. Like
Guess-
you match
yeah.
weird faces.
Oh.
Maybe I don't.
Guess who's when
You
you have
guess
like the
who?
pictures
It's
of
a
all the
mystery.
faces in front of you, and you have to be like, does your guy have a mustache?
right,
and then
right,
you like
right,
flip
right.
them down. You're thinking of
What am I
Dream
thinking?
Phone, I think.
Dream Phone, yeah.
I think that's what Dream Phone was.
I didn't have it because I'm a boy. But I remember these commercials. Like I remember
Yeah.
commercials for board games from like the late 80s, early 90s.
Remember Mall Madness? I love that game.
I also didn't have that, but I remember the commercial.
Don't remember the commercials at all.
Well, I couldn't like recite it to you, but like I know I remember seeing commercials for those things like 5 billion times a day, because I just like would sit there and watch TV and watch like Nickelodeon and whatever channel those things would be on. Well, anyway, moving on to reading some Sweet Valley High. So, okay.
The important thing.
Yeah. So to catch you up and our listener, real quick, what happened last time? We won't get into the nitty gritty, but basically we've got our two protagonists, Jessica and Elizabeth Wakefield, the perfect twin sisters, identical twin sisters. One of them is horrifying and one of them is normal. You figure out which one's which. Jessica, the gist, I think, is Jessica's basically like pissed off that Elizabeth is spending so much time with her best friend Enid and not with her sister. And then Enid confesses to Elizabeth the titular secret is that when Enid was like 2 years prior, so we think 14 or 15 years old, got high with her boyfriend George and drove around in their GTO and hit a little boy with their car and didn't kill him. But, it's a horrifying secret. And Enid's terrified that her current boyfriend, Ronnie, who also seems like a big piece of shit, is going to find out. And then...
But then also Jessica has a plot where she needs a date to their fall dance.
Oh, right.
And she wants Bruce to be her date. So she's kind of following him around all pathetically.
Yeah.
And so far he's pretty much ignoring her.
Like trick him into dating her, I think.
Oh yeah, she was like, "Help me find my necklace."
Yeah, she just like pocketed.
That was
necklace.
her first move. It didn't work.
And he was like, "No, I have to go."
Is he a high school student or is he like college?
High school.
He's high school, but like I'm definitely picturing like a 40-year-old dude.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah,
He's Batman. He's like a salesman.
I'm definitely poor salesman.
Just came to school one day.
So yeah, Enid
a real
like
peaked in high school type.
Oh, for sure.
Yes.
Enid brought her secret correspondence with her old boyfriend over to the Wakefield's house to show Elizabeth for some reason. I don't remember why. And one of the letters like slipped out, fell on the floor. Jessica found it. And now Ronnie knows. Now Ronnie knows the secret. So let's find out what happens.
And George is coming into town to visit.
Oh, yeah. Oh, there's so many moving pieces.
And Enid was like, I don't know if I should see him because Ronnie's super jealous.
Uh-oh. I don't like where this is going.
Oh yeah. Oh, now I'm remembering more details.
Is there even
in the
more?
last chapter? Well, not anything super different, but Enid and Ronnie were in his car, like they went to go park.
Right.
And then he was being all fucking crazy and angry about stuff.
Yeah, that's how that's how he left it, like on that cliffhanger. Yeah, he's got her like trapped in the car. I don't like anything about it.
Yeah.
Not a fan of Ronnie. I think that night I was texting I texted Christine about it and I was just like screaming about Ronnie to Christine. Christine, our resident Sweet Valley High expert. Chapter 5. Elizabeth had never seen her sister in such a good mood. Jessica was making her positively dizzy, flying around the room like a hyperactive bumblebee as she got ready to spend Saturday night out with Kara. What do you think? Jessica held up her ribbed burgundy sweater dress.
Nice.
What? Also, this is the first time they've talked to each other the entire book.
Yeah.
We're 46 pages in. This is the first time either sister has talked to each other. A ribbed burgundy sweater dress?
That sounds very 90s.
Yeah.
From the ribbed to the burgundy. Everything about that is 90s.
From the ribbed to the burgundy. With that new belt I bought at the mall last month, you're certainly going to be a lot of trouble going to a lot of trouble fixing yourself up just to go summer with Kara, Elizabeth observed. What's up? Well, Kara is in love with her. That's for me to know and you, big sister, to find out, Jessica replied, smiling mysteriously and probably evilly. She hummed as she launched into the task of untangling her hair from the jumble of electric curlers that sprouted from her head. Elizabeth knew her game, though, and she wasn't going to play it. All right, good. Good job, Elizabeth.
She yawned. Well, have fun, whatever it is. Jessica stopped to glare at her sister's reflection in the mirror. Aren't you even the tiniest bit curious about where we're going? Not really. Elizabeth yawned again. Being all of our heroes. You mean you're not even going to try to guess? Jessica's lower lip edged out in a tiny pout.
Oh, God.
Okay, let me see. You've been invited to a White House reception and your fairy godmother is getting ready to turn A zucchini from mom's garden into a jet. Sorry, that was hard to read because it was insane.
What are you talking about? That's obviously the first thing I would have said to her.
That's the perfect plain vegetable. Is the zucchini.
Yes. Very aerodynamic. Jessica threw a hairbrush at her sister, missing her by several inches. Very funny. She was trying very hard not to laugh. Okay, Elizabeth giggled. I give up. Where are you going? To a party at Lila's. You could have been invited too if you tried a little harder to be friends with Lila.
Damn.
Elizabeth shrugged. Why should I? I think she's a phony. Am I Elizabeth?
I mean, well, I feel like we're all
Elizabeth is being
Elizabeth.
my hero right now.
We're all Elizabeth.
The reader is definitely Elizabeth.
No phonier than some of your friends, Jessica shot back. I won't mention any names, but I think you know who I mean. Her first initial is E, and I'm not talking about E.T. either.
Oh, burn.
Sick burn,
Starts
Jessica.
with E, ends with
Ooh.
Nid.
No comment, said Elizabeth. It bothered her that Jessica was so determined to dislike Enid, but she knew if her sister guessed what she was feeling, she'd never let up.
Let's see. Anyway, I wouldn't go to Lila's party even if I was invited. Face it, Jess, the Fowlers are snobs. I guess it comes from getting rich practically overnight. I don't care if their money grows on trays, Jessica said. The point is, they know all the right people. Everybody who's anybody will be at that party. You mean like Bruce Patman, and Bruce Patman?
Oh, she said it 3
Jesus
times.
fucking Christ. Is
Oh
he
no,
gonna
she
appear
summoned
behind
him.
us?
Yeah.
A Porsche rolled up outside. Check about it all you like, Jessica said. As a matter of fact, he is going to be there, and I'm making sure he notices me. So what do you think? Is the sweater dress okay? You don't think it makes me look fat, do you? Yes and no. What? Jessica screeched as if she'd just been mortally wounded. She whirled to face her sister. How dare you suggest I'm fat? We weigh exactly the same for your information. Cool it, Jess. I meant yes, the dress is fine, and no, it doesn't make you look fat. That's better.
Read a book, Jessica.
Jessica switched back to her usual ultra-charming self, flashing Elizabeth a brilliant smile. She yanked the last curler from her hair, letting loose a mass of golden ringlets. Curly hair was the one thing Jessica regretted not having been blessed with.
People
Elizabeth-
always want it until you have it.
Mm-hmm.
Or, well, not until you have it. If you're born with it, you don't fucking want it. If you're not born with it, you want it.
You always want what you can't have.
Yeah.
Maybe it's Maybelline.
Ange was always
Jesus Christ.
curling her hair and I was always straightening mine.
Yeah.
Should have just, swapped.
Yeah. Just
Yeah, I
hair
wish we
transplant.
could have. Take these damn curls.
Okay. Elizabeth went back to her room and to the book she was reading, but she couldn't seem to concentrate. She was thinking about Enid, worrying over the fact that she hadn't called. It had been a whole 24 hours since their double date, a record for silence where Enid was concerned, especially since she had to know that Elizabeth was dying to find out how her confrontation with Ronnie had come out. Like, creepy. She tried calling Enid herself, but both times her mother had said that she was too busy to come to the phone. Something strange was going on. Elizabeth decided she would try calling once more, and if Enid wouldn't come to the phone, then she was going over there herself to see what was the matter. Had Ronnie broken up with Enid? She wondered anxiously. Was Enid angry with her for advising her to be truthful with him?
We can all
This-
only hope that Ronnie broke up with her.
Rather than bring her face.
Enid's not going to do it.
Right.
This time Enid answered the phone herself, although Elizabeth scarcely recognized her voice. She sounded so cold and distant. She was a ghost. Are you okay, Enid? Elizabeth asked. You sound funny, like you have a cold or something. I'm all right. You don't sound all right. Aren't you going to tell me what happened last night?
Loading.
Oh.
It looks like it jumped forward some.
Wait.
Mhm.
Wait.
We lost our place.
Wait. What happened? Wait.
Oh, wow.
Oh my
Skipped us
gosh.
ahead.
Wait.
They're drinking alcohol.
It jumped. No, don't read ahead. It jumped forward a lot. That was weird.
That's so
It jumped forward like a whole chapter. What happened last night? Enid laughed, but it was a dry, harsh sound. I'm surprised you have to ask, Liz. I should think it would be pretty obvious to you. What are you talking about? Enid, hey, it's me, Liz. What's going on with you? Look, I'm sorry if I told you to level with Ronnie. Was he upset when you told him? Is that it? Did he fly off the handle into a rage? Like anyone could see what happened? Upset! Enid choked. Yeah, I'd say he was upset, all right. Only I wasn't the one who told him. So he knows about the police record. Big deal. He'll get over it in a day or two. After all, it happened such a long time ago. It has nothing to do with you and Ronnie now.
Saying that. It's been 2 years.
2 years. That's an eternity.
I don't think that he should be judging her about it regardless.
Yeah.
But it wasn't so long ago. That's my only point.
Yeah.
It was
it's 2 years ago.
Yeah.
But also, if all he has to go on is the leaked letter and that dumb bitch talking about it, then not Enid the dumb bitch, Jessica the dumb bitch.
Yeah.
Chris's background right now is so good because it's on one side of him, it's Jessica like holding a mirror up to her face, but like giving the side eye to Elizabeth. And on the other side, it's Elizabeth like giving a real side eye to Chris.
I feel like you could always tell Elizabeth because she had like barrettes or like a headband.
Which means she's not as cool.
No.
She's
can't
more
let it flow free.
serious.
She's more serious. He knows about the letters. Elizabeth gasped. How could he have found out? You and I were the only ones who knew. That's right. Enid replied icily. Oh, Enid, you couldn't possibly think. What am I supposed to think? Enid was crying now. You tell me. I don't know. Elizabeth was too stunned to think straight. But Enid, you've got to believe me. I never. Why should I believe you? You're the only one who knew about the letters. The only one. I confided in you. It had to be you. How, Liz? How could you do that to me? Enid, please. Before she could finish, Enid had slammed the phone down. Aren't you glad you don't have to do Enid screams?
Yes, I am. Oh my God.
What happened?
It got so zoomed.
So zoomed.
Help. For a long time, Elizabeth refused to believe what had just happened. She sat listening to the empty hum of the dial tone for several moments before slowly lowering the receiver.
Sound like this.
You deserve that.
I got what was coming to me.
Who was that? Jessica asked from behind her. It sounded like you were having some kind of argument. Enid, Elizabeth replied.
Did Jessica pop up behind her like the Grinch? Like,
who could that have been? Enid, Elizabeth replied, her eyes welling with tears. It was Enid. Jessica made a face. What did she want? Wait a minute. Don't tell me. Let me guess. She couldn't walk from the living room into the kitchen without asking your opinion about it first, right? Jessica, stop it, Elizabeth snapped. It's not funny. Enid was really upset. She and Ronnie have broken up, and she thinks it's all my fault. In a burst, she confided in her sister about what had happened. Elizabeth rushed to her sister and threw her arms around her. It's so unfair. How could she accuse you of such a thing? There must have been some mistake. Elizabeth or Enid probably let it slip out about the letters herself, and now she wants to blame someone else. I always knew she was just using you, Lizzie. I saw right through her from the very beginning. You're better off without her. Elizabeth disentangled herself from her sister's suffocating embrace. Jesus Christ.
You're choking me, Jess. You're choking me.
Yeah.
I'm sure Enid didn't mean all those things she said. She was just upset about breaking up with Ronnie. It must have been pretty awful for her. What about you? Look what she's putting you through. I'll save you. I'll protect you. You could be with me forever. I'll survive, but I'm worried about Enid. For heaven's sake, Les, are you trying to win the Nobel Peace Prize or something? Don't you ever fight back? All I want to do is straighten out this whole mess. I just hope Enid will listen to me. I have a feeling if I called back right now, she'd only hang up on me again. So wait until you see her on Monday. Let her wait until then. Elizabeth chewed her lip thoughtfully. Maybe it would be better to wait. I don't think she's in the mood to listen to anybody right now. Poor Enid. I can't believe Ronnie would do this to her over a few crummy letters from a boy she's not even dating anymore. Don't you say? It's the principle of the thing. How could he ever trust her again, knowing how she'd covered up the truth? Honestly, Liz, I think it's better Ronnie did find out. Whoever told him about the letters was doing him a big favor. But who? Cried Elizabeth. Who would have done such a hideous thing? Well, certainly not me.
This is what Liz would be like, or just gonna go, I'll never tell.
She looked up to ask Jessica's opinion, but her twin was off again in a whirlwind of preparation for the party. Clearly, the subject was beginning to bore her, and her hair was probably a mess.
Take these curlers out.
Is it still me?
Yeah.
Okay. Chapter 6. Lila pressed a glass of red wine into Jessica's hand. Ooh,
What?
scandal.
Red wine.
They're 16 years old.
I know, like I was thinking,
Not
in
even
high
a wine
school.
cooler.
It was Arbor Mist. It was like
It's Boone's Farm.
Harry Arbor Mist or something.
Manischewitz.
Try
I remember
some.
Boone's Farm.
Yeah, Boone's
Yes.
Farm was the shit.
Oh God.
Try some, she said and giggled. It's really good French stuff. I snitched a couple of
French
bottles
wine.
from my dad's wine cellar, but I'm sure he won't notice. He's got loads of it.
I snitched a couple bottles.
It's
You know there's a
Mad
rape
Dog
drug, there's
2020.
a date rape drug in there.
Oh God.
I am a little concerned our power is gonna go out.
Yeah.
Just FYI.
Yeah, it is.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, crazy thunderstorming right now. If you can hear the thunder, the constant thunder.
I know. I wish we were reading a spooky book.
This is pretty spooky. Jessica's
No.
behavior is terrifying. I don't want to be
You're
around her.
afraid.
Oh, I heard that.
Yeah. Oh my
Yeah.
God. Okay.
It's like a whiteout, but with rain outside. All I see is like white rain.
All right.
Okay.
Let's see if the power stays on.
Okay. Jessica took a tentative sip. She felt very elegant sitting there drinking wine at the Fowler mansion. Everything about Fowler Crest was elegant.
Fowler Crest.
Did they name their mansion Fowler
Wait,
Crest?
what?
Everything about Fowler Crest.
Can we
is
name
elegant.
our rancher Eaton Crest?
Eaton Crest.
Eaton
Welcome
Crest.
to Fowler Crest. We have the finest of French wines.
from California.
Everything about Fowler Crest was elegant, from the magnificently landscaped grounds to the uniformed maid who had taken their coats when they had come in. It made Jessica's own comfortable split-level house seem like a shack in comparison.
Oh,
I can't believe your father lets you have parties like this when he's not here, she said to Lila.
A tiny frown creased Lila's.
You okay?
No, a tiny frown creased Lila's forehead. Her forehead frowned. I mean, I know what that means, but like it confused me. I felt like her mouth was up here.
I
What is
don't
li-
think you know what it means.
Just let me have this. What does Lila sound like? Does she have a voice? I don't remember.
Oh, I
I
did
don't
it.
really remember.
I'll do like a blue blood type thing. Well, I didn't exactly tell him I was having a party. I just said I was having a few friends over. What he doesn't know won't hurt him, right? Besides, it's his own fault for not spending more time at home. If he wasn't so busy running around with Miss Dalton. Her voice trailed off, and her frown darkened to a scowl as the heavens opened.
Speaking of monsters right behind you.
Speaking of Miss Kara began. Who hasn't been talking about her? Jessica broke in impatiently. Frankly, I'm sick of it. Can't anyone talk about anything else? Jessica quickly grew bored with gossip that didn't directly concern her. Shockingly, it seemed the girls of Pi Beta Alpha, the sorority that Jessica, Kara, and Lila belonged to, I forgot that high schoolers were in a sorority, could talk of nothing else. Have you heard the news about Ronnie and Enid? Kara whispered, catching sight of Ronnie standing over by the fireplace. Gossip was gossip as far as she was concerned. It didn't much matter who the target was. Knowing you, Dana Larson put in as she glided up to the bar like a ghost.
A
You
character we might never see again.
I know. Yeah, I know. You probably found out about it before Enid did. She held out her empty glass to Lila. Just Pepsi for me. Got to protect my pipes. I'm a singer. Dana was the lead.
Is
Oh,
soda good for your pipes?
Pepsi's the best before a performance.
All those burps.
Dana was the lead singer for the Droids. I forgot about
Who?
that. The band, the Droids. Sweet Valley High's answer to the Rolling Stones.
Oh my god.
They had a reputation for being pretty wild, but most of it was just conjecture.
They
Not many
stayed up past 9.
and drank Pepsi. Not many outsiders knew what went on in the smoky confines of Max Dellin's basement, where they held Max Rebo's basement, where they held their practice sessions.
They're called the droids.
Oh, son of a bitch.
Why do you keep pressing buttons?
I don't. I keep touching the
Just
screen.
plug a mouse in.
Shush, shush. Wait, what did I do? What happened?
Oh my god, stop moving it.
You would
No,
avoid
it's-
all your
it's where
problems
it's
if you
supposed to
plugged
be.
in a mouse.
As for Dana, she was fairly straight underneath the outrageous clothes she wore. Tonight, she was decked out in tight black velvet jeans, a pair of sparkly pink leg warmers, and a purple satin blouse. God, the clothing
Get
are
it, girl.
fucking insane.
Love it.
Get it.
Kara nudged Jessica in the ribs. Ronnie doesn't look too happy. Why don't you go over there and cheer him up? No, thanks. I'm saving myself. She perched on a stool and crossed her legs, making sure her hemline was just far enough above her knee to make it interesting. If you mean Bruce, you can forget it, said Lila. He's not coming. What? Jessica nearly fell off her stool. He called me at the last minute to tell me he was going to some bash at the college. You know, Bruce, always hanging around with older women.
Women
Shit. I'm sorry, that thunder really scared me. Jessica's heart plummeted into her shoes. Elizabeth's shoes, actually, which she'd borrowed. After all the trouble she'd gone to, Bruce didn't even have the decency to show up. She knew that if he'd just give her half a chance, she could have him wrapped around her little finger. The trickiest part was getting him there in the first place. She could see it wasn't going to be easy, but Jessica didn't discourage easily either. She was already halfway there, thanks to Enid's letter. I still can't remember what that would have to do with Bruce at all.
I
I
don't
feel
know.
like
Like,
thunder vibrate.
look what a
our
conniving
It was
bitch I am.
terrifying.
Notice me.
Jesus Christ.
That made me actually jump.
Jessica squelched a tiny twinge of guilt as she remembered how upset Elizabeth had been. After all, how was she to know Enid would blame her sister? I don't know, because you have a fucking brain.
I know.
Really, the whole thing was Enid's fault from start to finish. People who left letters lying around for anyone in the world to see were just begging for trouble.
It's words to live by.
Mhm.
The girl he's taking to the dance is 19, for heaven's sake, Lila went on. I can't believe anyone that ancient would want to hang out at a high school dance.
Sorry,
Jessica.
I know someone in real life.
I know you don't.
Continue.
Jessica scarcely heard the rest of what Lila was saying. Her mind was stuck like a broken record on those first words. The girl he's taking to the dance. The girl he's taking to the dance. The girl he's taking to the dance. She gulped down her half glass of wine like a badass, gasping as it burned a fiery path down her throat.
That's not how wine works.
Nevertheless, she refused to
Like
surrender.
mulled wine.
The battle was not lost yet. It just called for a little new strategy and a fresh round of ammunition.
I like
She
the
needs
idea
more
of
letters.
her like taking a swig of wine and go like.
Like it's a shot of whiskey.
Yeah, exactly. Like
That's the good stuff.
This isn't going to be just any high school dance. After all, when you've got the greatest band around. Jessica tuned out the conversation. With her eye on Ronnie, she
wasn't
slithered
about
off
her.
her stool and made straight for her prey.
Jesus
Mm-mm.
Christ.
Hey, heartbreaker, she drawled, linking
sound
her
like
arm through
Cher.
Ronnie's.
We
Why
already
don't you
did
try
a share.
cheering up, babe?
Who was the share that we did?
I don't remember, but we did it for so long.
I think it was in whatever one we read with Nagel. I don't remember.
Oh my god, I don't remember either.
This is supposed to be a party. Aren't you having a good time?
Oh, that's me. Oh, it was Fear Street. The new girl.
And but like we were doing share, and he thought I was doing Dennis Miller.
Oh yeah, because you kept saying babe. He was like, "Hey, babe."
Does Dennis Miller say babe a lot?
Yeah, that's a way to make fun of him, right? You're like doing a Dennis Miller impression.
Well, it's you make like a very obscure reference, like
oh yes,
and then end it with babe.
Dennis Miller is so out of like the cultural zeitgeist by so far. Like,
yeah,
I can't even remember the last time he was near relevant.
And you got to move your head around.
Yeah,
that's
it.
Ah, yes.
Watching all of you guys do that just
Canal,
added
babe.
years to my life.
Yeah, he snarled into his drink. I'm having a ball. Well, you look like someone. Can't do a Gallagher accent. Well, you look like someone with a terminal case of the blahs. Come on, I know a terrific cure. Let's dance.
A terminal case of the blahs. I'm gonna use that.
I've been there.
Thanks, Jessica, but I think I'll pass. I'm not really in the mood. Maybe later. Jessica dropped her flirtatious pose, which is what's she doing? Change tactic.
Like, hey, my
Ball
arms are on
hippie.
my hips.
Maybe you should have brought Enid, she suggested sweetly. Oh, that wasn't sweet.
Sweet. No, that's as sweet as she gets.
It's obvious you're miserable without her. Enid looked as if she just injected him with poison.
Mission accomplished.
Enid.
You know how you inject people with poison at parties.
Yeah, they're called shots.
Enid.
Did you say they're called shots, you idiot?
No thanks. I'd be better off with Benedict Arnold. Sweet reference, bro.
No, you say it like Dennis Miller.
No, thanks. I'd be better off with Benedict Arnold, babe.
There you go. Flawless Dennis Miller.
Nothing like my share impression.
Jessica cleverly jumped to Enid's defense. You shouldn't be so hard on her, she said. After all, everyone makes mistakes. I suppose she's sorry. I'm sure there's no reason for you to hate her for life. Yeah, well, I happen to know Enid's not sorry at all. In proof. Someone left a copy of a letter in the locker. Some creep named George wrote to Enid. That's it far. Jessica pretended total innocence.
What?
Liz mentioned that writing to Enid, but you know how those things are. When you're involved with someone the way Enid was with George, it's hard to break it off just like that. She's been writing that jerk for 2 years. It's like forever in teenage time.
Yeah.
Jessica conceded.
I imagine there was like a slow arm pat involved.
Literally it says,
Taking a lady like sip of her wine.
That certainly does seem devoted, but just remember, appearances can be deceiving. Like me. I seem so nice. I'm a stone cold batch. Oh, I get the picture all right. Ronnie said, look, Jessica, I appreciate what you're trying to do. It's nice. It's nice of you to try and help Enid, but it's not going to work.
When
It's
did
over.
Ronnie become Powers Booth?
I did that. I did that
So
last
into
time, I
it.
think. I'm pretty
Into it.
sure.
I drink a lot. I don't remember.
I don't remember that either.
Just because I think I started off trying to do Matthew McConaughey, and then I just went straight into, well, yeah, it's Powers Booth. You're right.
Because the date rapist was Matthew McConaughey in the
Right.
first book.
Yeah. Ronnie's scary like Powers Booth. It's over between us. What about the dance?
I thought he
Enid
was a
is-
surfer.
Ronnie?
Yeah.
Surfers don't sound scary.
I mean, they could.
They're all surfers. They're in California.
All right.
Let me have this, Chris.
Someone ask Google if Powers Booth ever surfed. If it comes back as a yes, I will accept it.
Okay.
Someone in our live audience. Anyone?
Anyone looking at the chat? What about the dads? Enid is up for queen. She should have thought of that before. It's her problem now, not mine. I'm sure she won't have any trouble conning some other poor jerk into taking her. What about you, though? Jessica flashed him a smile, oozing with sympathy. He shrugged. I'll probably just stay home. It's too late to get another date now. Well, what a coincidence, she cried, clapping a hand over her mouth. Would you believe I don't have a date either? Several other boys had asked her, of course, but she'd turned them all down. She'd been saving herself for Bruce, Hatman, and now it was too late. They all had other dates, and the dance was only a week away. Since you don't have a date and I don't have a date, she suggested, why don't we go together? He looked at her as if she just suggested he carry her cross country on his back. What is crossed out there? Someone crossed a word out in this book before it was scanned.
Looks like gosh.
I'm pretty sure it's gosh and someone crossed it out because it's sacrilegious.
Yeah.
Like that's too much of a swear.
Yeah, that's crazy. He looked at her as if she just suggested he carry her cross country on his back. Gosh, Jessica. Just as friends, of course.
It does make sense, he agreed then. Well, there's certainly no point in sitting home and getting even more depressed, is there? She asked. I guess not. He looked slightly bewildered, like someone who'd been picked up by a tornado and dropped in a foreign land. Jessica turned her most radiant smile on him. That's a
big ass tornado.
I'm getting used to the weird fucking metaphors. Just have to roll with them because they're all insane.
Yeah.
Jessica turned her most radiant smile on him. Sliding her hand down his arm, she laced her fingers through his. She led him over to the dance area where several couples had gone into body lock.
Body lock?
Body lock.
It's a serious condition.
By the way, Ronnie, she cooed, I'm allergic to gardenias, but I absolutely adore orchids. Just don't get me a pink one. I'll be wearing a red dress. Jesus fucking Christ.
Well, welcome back, everybody. This is the second time that I have tried to explain what the fuck just happened.
We have to do that part again?
Yes, because I recorded it terribly. Ooh, and our internet connection's unstable. Because why the goddamn hell not?
Let me do
unstable.
it. We are all unstable.
Okay, Bekah,
I'm going to
go.
do it
Please
because
go.
I'll talk less.
I'm so angry.
So we're picking back up after a week because our power went out last time because there was a storm. The end.
What?
Well done.
Okay, cool.
Thank you.
All
Thank
right.
you. So, well, I don't need to do a recap for the listeners. I did a recap for us the first time we tried to start this a second time.
Jesus Christ.
And John's mic wasn't working. So now we're just going to forge ahead.
Serenity now.
Chapter 7.
Woo, chapter 7.
Elizabeth arrived at school Monday morning to find her problem with Enid overshadowed by an item of gossip that had taken off and, in the last week, spread rapidly. Practically everyone at Sweet Valley High was buzzing about the affair, the one supposedly going on between Ms. Dalton and Ken Matthews.
Oh.
I don't buy it for 1 minute, Elizabeth told Caroline Pierce, a member of Pi Beta Alpha sorority, after first period as they stood outside the French classroom. You look like you were going to say something.
I keep forgetting that they have sororities in high school. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. The only
Weird.
place I know did that was Chilton in Gilmore Girls.
The puffs.
Yes, the puffs.
The best Chilton storyline.
Oh, no, I hated that so much.
I know, I was joking. That's a deep cut Gilmore Girls reference.
Oh, it's appreciated here.
Where my GG head's at.
Woohoo.
GG heads.
Gillheads.
Gilheads. Yes, I love it.
Gillheads. Oh,
Gilmore
shit.
Gang.
Mhm.
They were waiting for Ms.
Gill
Dalton
horse.
No,
Gilmore.
that just sounds like the porn version.
That just sounds like fish that prostitute themselves.
Ew.
Ugh.
They were waiting for Ms. Dalton to arrive and unlock the door. Elizabeth couldn't remember her ever having been late before, but then everything about Ms. Dalton had seemed not quite right this past week. In class, she was nervous and distracted.
Uh-oh.
Probably because she knew she was about to get caught sleeping with the student.
Oh, is it my turn?
Yeah.
Elizabeth had noticed dark circles under her eyes, as if she hadn't been sleeping well. I refuse to believe she's been fooling around with Ken, Elizabeth went on. It just doesn't make sense. Why would anyone as together as Ms. Dalton, though apparently not, be interested in a kid?
She's probably 24 and
Yep.
she's probably just hungover from being out with her friends.
If there's anything I know about teachers as an adult is that they're like barely holding it
Persistently
together.
hungover.
Yeah.
They're just regular young people like the rest of
Yeah.
us with like boring office jobs and shit.
Like several of our friends are like teachers and principals of
Yeah.
schools. It's crazy. And we drink so much with them.
Ken Matthews isn't exactly a kid, Caroline countered, primly tossing her impossibly neat red hair. Aside from Kara, she was probably the biggest gossip around, and the one person Jessica and Elizabeth could agree on dislike. Ooh,
Damn.
that's
Okay,
some
her.
shade.
Man, Caroline, that's rough.
Besides, everyone knows she's tutoring him. The question is, what is she tutoring him in?
Fucking.
It's the law of human nature. Put in Olivia Davidson, who worked with Elizabeth on the paper and was known for her liberal views on every subject, from nuclear war to organic food.
Hippie.
Shocking.
She was especially
In
big these
California.
Oh, yeah, right?
days- She was especially big these days on women's rights.
What?
A woman doesn't reach her peak until she's in her 30s. Men are practically burned out by then, so it makes sense, really, when you think about it. Though I still can't imagine Ms. Dalton with Ken.
You know, the dirty 30s.
There's so many new characters here, and they're all going to have the same voice.
I know. I was just going to
know.
say, like,
Out.
man,
Why
yeah.
do they keep introducing people?
I know.
I don't. They just introduced like 12 people. I'm
There's
like,
another one.
We're halfway through the
check my
book.
notes.
What makes sense? Asked Lois Waller.
What?
I just had to do something
Oh my
different.
God.
For an older woman to be attracted to a younger man, Caroline filled her in. Maybe, said Elizabeth, but I still don't think it's true in this case. Ms. Dalton is our teacher. Like that fucking means anything.
Right? Yeah. Elizabeth, you can figure the world out.
She
all right?
wouldn't do something as unprincipled as that, even if she wanted to.
Mm.
I just saw a name for the next page.
Again,
Just made me
something is
laugh.
crossed out.
So that
It's
so-
gosh.
Is it
It's
gosh?
probably
Gosh?
God.
Who went through and what do you think it's God? Let me see. I need a closer look.
I don't know why you would censor gosh. So
First of
So
all,
we're
what's
reading
a
this book
Mormon
from the
doing reading this
library.
book?
Or
It
an
might-
internet
yeah.
library.
That
Oh,
might
And
be
like
shit.
God.
it's like
It's
shit, Liz.
scans of
Fucking
pages.
Shit. Shit, Liz. Shit, Liz. Wait. You have to say it like what's the name? Clay Davis.
Yeah.
Shit.
Oh shit.
I mean, it could be fuck.
Yeah, I'm just gonna bleep Liz. You are so naive. Caroline trolls. Anyway, that's what makes it so perfect. It's so disgustingly tacky.
Disgustingly tacky.
I talked to someone in Ms. Dalton's first period French class who told me Ms. Dalton seemed upset, like she was on the verge of tears or something. Maybe someone in her family just died, suggested Lois, a shaggy-haired girl with oversized. Lois, like, who are these people?
Yeah.
A shaggy-haired girl with oversized glasses, which kept slipping down her nose as she talked. That's rude. Or maybe someone's about to get fired, sneered Caroline. My father plays golf with old Chrome Dome and says he's practically Billy Graham when it comes to stuff like teachers' morals.
Who the fuck is Billy Graham?
A preacher.
He's
Yeah,
that
evangelist?
shitty evangelist guy.
Which one?
One of them.
Okay.
One of the shitty ones.
The
Okay.
white one.
Which one?
The old white guy.
Just kidding.
Which one? The white. The white rich one.
Is, Olivia argued. Miss Dalton just doesn't seem like the type. Guy Chesney, keyboard player for the Droids. Has he been here before?
Kenny's brother.
I don't know.
Let's get it to a stop.
That's the name my eyes darted to looking at the next page. And
Guy Chesney.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It's pronounced Guy.
Oh.
Chesney.
Whipping out
He's the French Canadian Kenny Chesney.
French Canadian.
Holy shit.
Guy Chesney, keyboard player for the Droids, skidded to a stop before them, whipping out a grubby pad and a pencil stub that looked as if it had been chewed by a pack of rats. Ugh.
Gross.
His impish brown eyes were lit up with mischief. I'm taking a poll, eh? He said. All the Canadian I can do.
Oh man.
So far, it's only 1 out of 3 in Ms. Dalton's favor. Goes to show people always want to believe the worst, eh? Me, I thrive on rumors. Has anyone bothered to ask Miss Dalton whether it's true or not? Elizabeth wondered. Why would she tell us? Caroline replied. Oop.
Did we freeze again? They look frozen to me.
Yeah.
I mean, no, we're still here.
Oh,
We're here.
God.
Looked like the book was frozen.
Am I moving? Oh, I am moving.
yeah, we're
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
I see you now.
we're
Nice.
moving, but the second page isn't loading.
No, it's
Yeah,
well, the second page isn't loading, but the first one did.
Yeah. Well, just maybe the second one will load by the time you're at the bottom of
Yeah.
the first one.
Looking horrified at the idea. I don't know what that was. I already forgot the beginning of that sentence.
It's not exactly the kind of thing she'd want printed on the front page of the Oracle. Guy laughed. Guy laughed. Sounds like a great idea to me, eh? I'll bet I'd sell more copies than Playboy. Hey, maybe you could even staple in a foldu Miss
Foldu?
Dalton while you're at it, eh? All 4 girls eyed him with a drop-dead expression. Okay. He backed off. That was just an idea. I mean, heck. Didn't add that. Didn't add it. That's just what a Canadian says. Heck, any woman with a body like hers. His voice trailed off when he saw he was only making it worse for himself. At that moment, the subject of their heated discussion arrived on the scene, putting an abrupt end to the conversation. Bonjour, class.
It's French.
Miss Dalton
forgot.
greeted them as she unlocked the door. She seemed more subdued than usual, and she was wearing a pair of very dark sunglasses to hide her hangover. Something Elizabeth had never seen her do before.
Liar.
A ripple of uneasiness edged its way up her spine. Ugh. Just suppose it were true. Miss Dalton froze as she entered the classroom. Someone had scrawled something on the blackboard in large block letters. Hang on, before I scream this into the microphone, because it's in all caps, I'm going to try and fix that page. Oh no, what's going on?
Come on.
So we're having some
internet.
technical difficulties,
We're
listener.
having
It's
a
all right.
lot
We're gonna
of
vamp.
technical difficulties.
While it all gets fixed.
Vamp,
It's all good.
Vamp. There we go. Cool. All I had to do
Bleh, bleh.
Vamping is
Bleh,
just yelling
bleh.
vamp over and over.
Vamp. All
I'm
right.
vamping.
You're just chanting.
Okay.
No, vamping.
She froze as she entered the classroom, and someone had scrawled on the blackboard in large block letters. If you don't know what a French kiss is, ask Ken Matthews.
Oh my god.
I backed away, but I'm
Ow,
wearing
stop
headphones, so
shoving
it
it
didn't
I
so
help.
did too. Yeah.
You backed away from your headphones.
I leaned away from you physically.
Still got it.
Elizabeth gasped. She felt
It's what
sick.
hooked her.
He was being very obnoxious literally the first second I saw him. Screaming out the
Oh,
words
right.
to Plush.
Yeah, I
With
was.
Mark.
Yeah, the first time you saw me ever, I was screaming like that in public.
Yeah.
You're like, what is that melodious sound?
Like, ooh,
I said, who is that?
who sounds like a
Literally,
terrible
I
Scott
said,
Weiland?
who is that? But her reaction was nothing compared to Ms. Dalton's, who reeled back as if she'd been slapped, burst into tears, and rushed out into the corridor. Elizabeth was still upset about what had happened in Ms. Dalton's classroom by the time she caught up with Enid at the end of third period, but she was determined to put a stop to this ridiculous business of not speaking to one another. It's no use avoiding me, said Elizabeth, blocking Enid's path as she attempted to brush past her. Enid, we have to talk. I have nothing to say to you, Elizabeth Wakefield, Enid replied icily.
Both names.
Last named her.
Yeah.
That's got frostbite.
That's bad.
Enid, you're my best friend. I would never betray you. You have to believe me. I swear I didn't tell anyone about those letters. The next thing you'll be telling me is that your room is bugged. Don't be ridiculous. Elizabeth was starting to get a little angry herself. Why can't you just trust me? I did trust you, remember? Look where it got me. Thanks to you, my whole life is ruined. Maybe if I talk to Ronnie, Elizabeth began, desperate for any solution to heal this awful rift. Enid's icy reserve cracked in a sudden flood of fury.
Oh, shit.
There's
Chris?
an obvious explanation of this. Your sister's horrible, and she
Yeah.
found the
Right.
letters.
Yeah.
I was pretending like that was part of the book, but it didn't really come across as that.
And the end.
Haven't you done enough talking? She yelled. Can't you just keep your big mouth shut?
Oh, damn.
Elizabeth flinched, feeling the color drained from her face. With a choked cry, Enid whirled off in the opposite direction, her head down to hide the tears she couldn't stop from falling. Hi, Liz, Kara called cheerily from her post by the water fountain.
From her post?
Did she have like a desk set up there?
This is where Jessica told me to stand.
That's where she posts up. Where the only thing she'd be drinking in was the sight of Elizabeth and Enid arguing.
Poetry.
By lunchtime, it was all over school that Ronnie and Enid had broken up, and that Elizabeth had something to do with it. Between Ms. Dalton and Enid, the gossip mongers of Sweet Valley High were in heaven, as if they didn't know that Elizabeth had an evil twin who went to the same school.
Literal
Gossip.
evil twin.
Gossip mongers just makes me think of people go like, get your gossip here. Gossip, fresh gossip.
It's
They're
like
handing
these
them out next to
idiot
the water
kids
fountain.
don't
Yeah.
know what Occam's razor is. Like, no, the most obvious explanation is her sister's horrible. She did it.
It's making me think of Patty and Babette from Gilmore Girls.
Yeah.
How they had their
Ah.
whole gossip ring with who was the other lady that
Oh,
they talked
shit.
about, but she was never actually there.
I don't
She was
remember.
Eastside
wasn't she
Tilly or something?
Eastside Tilly. That's
Yeah.
right.
Eastside Tilly.
She was
So
the
many,
whore. She was the one sex worker. And
so many Gilmore Girls references in this episode.
Don't worry, Jessica consoled her sister as they sat on the lawn eating their lunches. You did everything you could. If Enid wants to be stubborn about it, you can't blame yourself because it was me.
Chris, before you go on, I want you to just, whenever there's a word crossed out, put in like a terrible swear word.
Okay.
I'd like the bleep though. Monica did the bleep.
Yeah, the bleep was good. I don't know. Use your discretion.
All right.
Can you move Pancake so her asshole isn't in my face?
Oh, you don't like me pointing her asshole right at you?
I don't. In fact.
Word
Okay.
is about to go off.
All right.
Pancake, that's so rude.
I just wish I didn't feel so helpless, Elizabeth said sadly, nibbling on a corn chip, even though she wasn't the least bit hungry. Maybe I should try talking to Enid myself, Jessica suggested sweetly. You don't even like her. Why should you? Jessica pretended to be hurt. Fuck! Excuse me for breathing. I was only trying to help you. You don't have to bite my head off. I just hate seeing
you
you
not
this
see
way,
it?
Lizzie.
It took a while to catch up.
Yeah, I had to wait for the.
Yeah, that was Jesus that was bleeped out, by the way.
Oh,
It
Jesus.
was clearly
Jesus.
Jesus.
Oh, you're right. There's a big capital J.
Oh, wow.
Jesus.
Oh,
Yep.
Whoever
must
had
be
this
everything
book
religious.
before it got scanned into an internet library.
That's
had
intense
an
to, like,
agenda.
Have a book and then cross out Jesus.
Well,
cross
and
out
it's
God.
a book about rumors about a teacher fucking their student, and
Yeah.
you're crossing out Jesus and God.
Yeah.
And the
we-
one
we-
was so obviously gosh.
Yeah.
Meanwhile,
Yeah.
Enid's high
That's
on
going
Benny's
too
running
far.
down
Too
little
close.
boys.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all going too far, but like crossing out gosh is too
That
much.
is unreal.
They were like, I know what that stands for.
And they didn't
I
even
won't
do a
have
good
any
job
of
of it, revealing that it was gosh, just
They're like-
letting you know how far they've gone.
Look, I can deal with like vehicular manslaughter and statutory rape, but I cross the line. I cross the line, good sir.
At
at taking the Lord's name in vain.
If we had whole pages crossed out,
We just
It
make
was
it
just
up.
like a secret military document. There's just like 5 words on a page. You can read.
Redacted.
Redacted.
Yes.
but like I would want to just keep
That's
going.
just where the secrets were.
Yes.
Oh,
Oh
shit.
boy.
in the title.
Yeah, they obviously made it this far. Okay, that's me. And also, maybe because I'm the tiniest bit sorry for Enid. It really is awful the way Ronnie's been treating her.
Agreed.
Would you really talk to Enid? Elizabeth felt her initial skepticism begin to melt beneath the warmth of Jessica's generosity.
Faux generosity,
She
Elizabeth.
should know her sister better.
Christ, right?
Of course I will, if you want me to. Well, I suppose it couldn't hurt. Everything is so screwed up now. Nothing and no one could possibly make it worse. Not even you, she added silently.
That's in the book. Oh, damn.
Thanks for the vote of confidence. You know, I didn't mean it that way, Jess. Elizabeth apologized, suddenly ashamed of the way she doubted her sister's motives. It was entirely possible that Jessica had undergone a change of heart where Enid was concerned. Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Jessica hugged her twin, scattering Fritos across the grass as she did so. She's a litterer.
Fritos are biodegradable.
That's true. I
think.
forgive you.
Probably
Don't I
not.
always? Just leave it up to me, Lizzie. I promise I won't let you down. That shouldn't be too hard since I've already hit bottom with Enid, Elizabeth replied glumly. Well, you know the old saying, when you're down, you have nowhere to go but up. Jessica smiled and took a huge bite out of her tuna sandwich.
Ew. God, she's the worst.
Elizabeth hoped it was true, but she had her doubts. Jessica had a talent for
Sociopath.
proving Jessica had a talent for proving comforting old cliches all wrong.
Who
It's a
brings
comfort
fish
level.
to
Very
school?
specific.
Yeah.
She opened her mouth to say something, but it was too late. Jessica had spotted Enid coming up from the parking lot, was after her like a streak of lightning.
Mm.
With
Throwing-
that mouthful of tuna sandwich.
Hey, Enid! God, gross. Chapter 8. It was obvious Enid was in no mood for talking, but Jessica wasn't about to let little things like that stand in her way.
Like
Since-
morals
Since when did Jessica know the meaning of the word no?
or
Gotta
common
get that fish breath in
decency.
there.
Fish breath. She quickened her step as she fell in beside Enid, blocking her attempt to make a rapid getaway.
I'm waiting for the Sweet Valley book where like Jessica murders a hobo.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
just to see what it feels like. I know how you feel, Jessica gushed sympathetically. Well,
You don't
actually,
know how anyone feels. You fake it. You're a sociopath.
well, actually, I've never been dumped by anyone, but I can't imagine what it's like. You must feel awful. Enid's lips tightened. I'm sure Liz filled you in on all the gory details. Why doesn't she just take out an ad in the Sweet Valley News? Oh, come on, Enid. Don't be that way. Why shouldn't Liz tell me? I am her sister. I'm closer to her than anyone in the whole world. That's pretty obvious.
Oh, God.
I hate her so much.
Like, I'll never not hate her, but
I've
I
read
will.
a lot of books, not to brag, but like she's the worst villain I've ever read on a page.
Like, I'll never not hate her, but I feel like I could. There's room for me to hate her more.
Well, let's see what she does here. You shouldn't be so hard on her, Jessica cajoled. I'm sure she never meant to hurt you. You know how these things are. Enid stopped to look at her. No, I don't know how these things are, she answered coldly. Unlike some people, I'm not in the habit of stabbing my friends in the back. You act as if Liz did it on purpose. For heaven's sake, they didn't cross out heaven. They didn't cross out for heaven's sake.
Good one,
Just
Mormon.
saying. I'm positive she didn't mean to tell Ronnie. It probably just slipped out. Just slipped out? Is that what she told you? Enid's eyes narrowed. Well, not exactly, but Oh, stop it, Enid snapped. Stop trying to defend her. Nothing can excuse what she did. If only you knew how upset Liz is over this whole thing. What about me? I'm the one who lost her boyfriend, remember? Don't tell me about upset. Liz doesn't know the meaning of the word. upset. She's still got Todd and I've got ... nothing. Enid choked on the last word. I wouldn't exactly say that, Enid. You've still got George. That's right. I've still got George. After all, we outcasts have to stick together, right? I wouldn't go so far as to call you an outcast, Enid, Jessica replied generously. Sure, you've made some mistakes, but don't worry. People aren't going to believe anything Ronnie's been saying about you.
Oh,
Ooh, interesting.
Who hasn't run down little boys in their car?
Enid seemed to fold up before Jessica's eyes like a dress slipping from its hanger. She slumped down on a bench. I love the poetry of this book. What has Ronnie been
I do
saying
hate when that
about
happens,
me?
though, when something falls off a hanger in the closet and you're like, son of a
Yeah.
bitch.
Me too.
You have
But
to
you had
find the
one
hanger
job.
fell off of.
Sometimes I put your clothes away in the closet, and that happens to me, and I know
Yes.
the pain.
It sucks.
Yeah.
When that happens
way
in the
my
store, I
clothes are
just
on the
walk
floor?
away.
Is that what?
Oh, I do the same.
Just walk away?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes I do too.
Oops.
Oh,
Bye.
it happened after.
Oh, it must have
It
been a
was on there
cat.
The last time
Yeah.
I checked.
There's a cat under there.
Ain't gravity a bitch?
What has Ronnie been saying about me? She asked in a hoarse whisper. Jessica slid a consoling and seditious arm about her shoulders.
Seditious? No.
Believe me.
That's not what it says. You just make that up. I believe everything I hear.
All the things.
This book's weird. It could say seditious.
This book had the word cajole in it. Why
The
wouldn't
way
it
I
have
said
seditious?
I said it in a way to let the listener know that I was making it up.
Well, the listener probably knew, but I didn't because I'm a fucking idiot. Please
You're
go
so
on.
fucking stupid.
Just invest in the story.
Oh,
God
All right.
damn
damn it.
This is why I try to
Believe-
read along.
Like you're looking at the same book I am.
I wasn't looking that closely.
Believe me, you wouldn't want to know. I couldn't even repeat half of it. Oh, Enid buried her face in her hand. I could just die.
Oh,
It can't be all that bad, Jessica told her. Look at the bright side. Now you don't have to hide in the closet anymore. Yeah, because that's what was happening.
Not what the
It must-
closet's for.
Yeah. It must
Tell
be
that-
Not for
every day.
hiding your hit and runs.
Tell that to your friend Kara, Jessica.
It must be a relief not to wonder what people are whispering about you all the time. Yeah, now I know what they're whispering about me.
I feel
Enid
like-
rose slowly.
I feel like Enid's just a
painfully
human-sized pill bug. Like,
to her feet.
Just rolls.
Thanks, Jessica. I know you're only trying to help, but you're fucking terrible at it. But you can tell Liz to forget it. If I live to be 199, which I won't, because that's impossible, I'll never forgive her for this. But that's just how serious I am. I think you're making a mistake, Enid. Jessica replied lightly, because everyone knows it was her. Enid's mouth twisted in a bitter smile. Yeah, well, it wouldn't be the first time. This time, Jessica made no attempt to stop her as she rushed off. As we established earlier in the book, she's still bitter that Enid liked Elizabeth more than her. Elizabeth was better off without Enid for a friend, she thought. Who knew what kind of trouble Elizabeth might get into if she hung around Enid long enough? Someone that liked her more than her? It's unthinkable.
Wait, I
Wait.
think it wanted.
Wait, what happened?
Technical difficulties. We're
What happened? Wait.
Oh my gosh. It
Oh my god.
jumped.
Wait, that
Oh,
jumped
how far
way
did it
that jumped
go?
super
Oh,
far
my-
ahead.
oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
What were you on, chapter
I saw
7?
another bleep.
Oh man, that cursor's jumping around a lot. We're having some
There we go.
technical-
There we go. There we go.
technical
Okay.
difficulties.
Ruining
Who
the
knows
story
it?
for us.
You're on Enid long enough. We're on 71, page 72. There we go.
In
I still blame your touchpad.
Chris in
In the long run, Jessica told herself, she was doing everyone a big favor,
Including herself.
mostly herself.
And why not? Didn't she deserve to be happy as much as anyone? A smile tugged at the corners of her mouth. She's pure sociopath.
Kill a puppy.
Yeah, she is.
That's a fucking Grinchy smile.
Oh my God.
She is the Grinch.
Holy shit, she really is. Oh my God.
Since Enid was no longer with Ronnie, she couldn't possibly get enough votes on her own to be
Yeah.
chosen queen. So now that Enid was out of the running, Jessica could almost feel the delicious weight of the crown.
Oh my fucking God.
Wow.
Full supervillain.
This is the
Watch
second
out.
book in the
That's what I
series.
was literally just gonna say. That like this is book 2 out of like
she's going nuclear
500.
already.
Yeah.
Maybe she gets a lobotomy later. Watch out, Bruce Patman. She murdered under her bed.
The Joker is coming.
Here I come.
That's the worst part about this, is that like this whole scheme is I'm going to ruin my sister's friend's relationship
Yeah.
to get him to go to the dance with me to make the guy I want jealous.
Very complicated.
Like it's like the classic joke of like the sociopath meets what he thinks is the love of his life at a funeral.
Yeah,
What's the
that's
next
what
thing he does?
That's
He
what I said
kills
last
someone
time.
else. I don't
Mm.
remember. I was drunk.
That's what I said last time. Someone needs to give Jessica that test of like you're at your dad's funeral and you meet the love of your life. What do?
You kill someone else.
And you kill your mother
Yeah.
to see if they'll come to the same funeral.
Which
That's
there's no
the-
guarantee of that.
Not Alice Wakefield.
Kids at home, give that test to your friends and see who's a sociopath.
Just down.
Mhm.
Okay, some time has passed. There's a gap.
Yeah.
Paragraphs.
Later that day.
Later that very. Why would Ronnie Edwards be calling you? Elizabeth asked later that evening as Jessica returned from a huddled conversation on the upstairs extension. Oh, extensions. Elizabeth looked up from
The
the
what?
paper on Shakespeare's
Yeah, what does
Julius
that mean?
Caesar she was working on.
The upstairs extension?
With an upstairs
Just-
extension.
Just
It's
like
just-
the upstairs
just-
phone?
Upstairs phone.
Oh, I
Ex-
thought it was
oh.
like an addition to the
That's
house. Or
That's what I
something,
thought too. Like a
No.
balcony or. Okay.
Just like
Oh no,
that.
it's phone.
We're
It's
dumb.
phone.
Yeah.
Remember house
This is
phones?
old timers.
Remember-
Remember landlines?
I guess this is the time when it was like, you have a phone on the second floor?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, those people who had like a second line in their
Yeah.
house. Ooh.
That was the dream.
Yeah. We
Mhm.
didn't have that.
We had a second phone upstairs and it was a rotary dial phone. And that was the phone I had in my bedroom for my entire teenage life.
Fucking
My
awesome.
sisters had their own line, and my dad had his
What?
own line because he ran his business out of the house. It
That's
was
amazing.
ridiculous.
Unbelievable.
Also, I didn't care. I was too young.
Elizabeth looked up from the paper on Shakespeare's Julius Caesar she was working on, then went back to it. Oh, pardon me, thou bleeding piece of Enid, she unconsciously copied. Fresh out Enid's name and corrected it to Earth.
That's really
Well, you
dark.
might as well
Yeah.
know. Jessica flopped down on the bed beside her. I'm going to the dance with Ronnie. You're what? Elizabeth's pen clattered to the floor. Now she knows.
Clack, 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 clack.
It's up.
Oh my God, this text is like blurry. It's not just me, right?
No, it's
No.
not just you.
Right. You. It wasn't easy convincing him. He was pretty angry, but I finally managed. Jesus Christ. Jessica, what on earth are you talking about? How can you even think of doing such a thing, you fucking idiot? It would absolutely kill Enid. Jessica's expression turned sulky because she's doing that classic thing of now she's the victim. Don't you see? I'm doing it for Enid. I feel so bad for botching things up with her. I felt so bad about botching things up with her this afternoon. So I decided to talk to Ronnie. What did he say? He was still pretty upset, like I said. I could see it was going to be really hard to get those two back together. But you decided to do it, right? Please tell me that.
Use your
What-
powers for good.
What else could I do? He absolutely wasn't going to budge on his own, even after I told him how sorry Enid was and all. He's the one who should be sorry, Elizabeth muttered. So I figured the only way was for him to see Enid at the dance. If we could arrange to set them up for at least one dance, I'm sure everything will work itself out. True love conquers all. Elizabeth remained skeptical, rightly so. She was even more skeptical about why Jessica was doing all this, rightly so, but she decided not to ask.
Even though she fucking knew better.
She decided not
There's
to
a
ask
whole last
because
book.
she decided not to ask because she's like, I've done this before and it's bad and it's just best to let Jessica do her crazy shit, probably.
And then get your revenge later.
I'm not so sure it's the best idea in the world. Have you thought it through? Maybe we should just let them work it out on their own. Besides, I doubt if Enid is going to the dance now that Ronnie. Besides, I doubt if Enid
is going to the dance now that Ronnie
had broke their date.
Dance date.
Dance date.
That was confusing.
It was confusing. Thank you, Monica.
In that case, you'll just have to find a way of talking her into it. I wouldn't want anyone to think I was going with Ronnie for my own selfish purposes.
Really?
She looked positively horrified at the thought. Elizabeth relented at the sincerity in her sister's tone because
Rube.
she's as gullible as I am. I'm sorry, Jess, she said. I know you're just trying to help. I'm doing it for you, Lizzie, cried Jessica, giving Elizabeth's hand a warm squeeze. How does all this benefit me? I just thought that if Enid and Ronnie got back together, then Enid wouldn't be so mad at you anymore.
I love that she's just leveling up. She's like, I'm doing this for everybody.
Yeah, I know.
I'm doing this for the entire school.
I'm a hero.
Ah, the mists are clearing. You don't need to get sarcastic, even though I know you're still furious at me for blowing it with Enid today. She took one look at me in gym class today and burst into tears, Elizabeth said miserably. I felt like an axe murderer or something. Jess, what did you say to her? Nothing much, really. Actually, it was Enid who did most of the talking. She said some awful things about you, Liz.
Jesus.
She's just this with gold.
Fucking Christ.
Oh my God.
She
Bodies in
did?
her wake.
Yeah. Elizabeth's heart sank. I could hardly believe my ears. You know, I think she's always been jealous of you, Lizzie. She was probably just waiting around for an excuse like this to pounce on you.
What the fuck?
Oh my
What the
God.
fuck?
I hate this person.
This is
Oh.
awful.
I want her to die.
bad.
This is awful. Like in the first book, she got to come up with by like getting tossed into a pool. Ha ha ha. Like in this book, she should go to jail. I don't know.
Maybe
Like,
they'll dump pig's blood on her at
yeah.
fall prom or whatever
She-
the fuck.
Just like she needs like a very serious comeuppance, a really big one.
But like the course of the series, does she ever change? I wonder, or is she always
From
like,
our expert,
I don't
no.
know.
Yeah,
Our
exactly. Yeah.
expert told us no,
That's what I was gonna say.
which is Christine Schrader, our
Yeah.
resident expert of the SVU, the Sweet Valley universe. So moving forward, I know Enid is angry with me, but somehow that just doesn't sound like her. Well, you asked me. I'm sorry I did in that case. Harumph. Jessica tossed her head in disdain. That's the
what it
last time I
says.
ever tried to do you a favor.
It says, "Humph."
She leaped from the
Oh,
bed in a huff that lasted about 30 seconds. That's a long leap.
That's
Wait,
But did she pause
30
in the
second
air?
leap from a
The-
bed?
The time
Oh.
it took for her to plow through Elizabeth's closet. I might forgive you if you'll loan me your beaded bag for the dance. I'm sorry,
Oh.
dance, she said.
Oh my God.
No way, I'm planning on using it myself. But you'll be wearing your green dress. It'll go so much better with mine. You could borrow mom's gold purse. I'm sure she won't mind lending it to you. I mean, think of what a sacrifice I'm making by going at all. The least you could do is appreciate it. Elizabeth sighed. I guess
so did
the
all of
gold
us.
purse would look better with green. Jessica
I
blew
mean,
her
that would
sister-
look good. It's fair.
I mean, she's not wrong, but she's awful.
Yeah.
She's had to be such a bitch about it.
Jessica blew her sister a hasty kiss as she dashed out of the room. I've got to call Kara and see what she's going to wear. Elizabeth was left to wonder why, if Jessica was doing her such a big favor, she was the one making all the sacrifices. You fucking idiot.
You. Dummy! Elizabeth.
Who knows her more than you?
My God.
The next day, Elizabeth. Oh, chapter 9. Chapter 9, everybody.
Chapter 9.
The next day, Elizabeth broke down and confided in Mr. Collins. Who's Mr. Collins?
I don't
Doesn't matter.
remember.
Oh, is that the
they're
teacher
gonna
she was obsessed with?
explain it.
Like she has a crush on him, I think. God, everyone. Ooh,
Oh, is
I don't
I don't remember.
that she had
Let's
a crush on
pretend
him.
it. Let's pretend it is.
Yeah.
Oh wait, no. The next sentence explains
read
who he
ahead,
is.
yeah.
Oh, wait.
Oh, I think
Classic
she does have
below
a crush
grade
on him
level.
based on what I have read
Besides-
ahead.
Yeah, it's right there.
The next sentence
Besides
answers the
being-
question we just asked.
Besides being the faculty advisor for the Oracle, Roger Collins had become sort of unofficial Dear Abby to the kids who worked with him. Of course, he resembled anyone but Abby, more like a taller Robert Redford, Elizabeth thought. Oh, nice reference,
damn.
Elizabeth.
I have no idea how tall Robert Redford is. If I looked at a guy,
I
I
was
would be like, "That's a
either.
taller Robert
Is Robert
Redford."
Redford like 5 feet tall?
I don't
Yeah,
think
that I'm
so.
He's an
aware of.
actor.
He is an
So?
actor. They're deceptively
A
short.
lot of actors are
There's-
short.
That's yeah. Oh yes. Sure.
No, no.
With his crinkly blue eyes and ruggedly handsome features.
Crinkly.
He likes him old.
Crinkly
Sometimes it was
blue
hard to
eyes.
keep her mind on what she was saying when she talked to him.
Robert Redford's 5'10".
Oh, it's my house.
I'm
that's
taller
for
than
me.
Robert Redford.
That's not that short.
That's not short.
But aren't the twins are tall though, right? Like tall.
He's
blonde.
5'10" and a half, according to IMDb.
Robert Redford was like, get that fucking half in there.
He's not like that's what she said. It's not like he's Tom Cruise.
God damn it.
Let's move on.
Sounds like you've got a bit of a mystery on your hands, he said. Seems to me the first step you have to take is figuring out why someone would want to tell Ronnie about those letters.
Loving the voice.
I have like 2 voices. Motivation, right? Elizabeth's writer mind clicked into gear.
The trouble is, nobody else knew about those letters besides me. What voice are
Twin
you doing?
sister.
That's what Enid thinks. But somebody else must have known. What about this boy she was exchanging those letters with? Does he have any friends here at school? Elizabeth thought for a moment. I suppose he could have told Winston Egbert.
Our favorite.
Yeah, the Eggman.
I suppose he could have told the Eggman, Winston Egbert. She knew they'd been friends from the age of about 5, though Winston had kept far away from the trouble George had gotten himself into. It's a possibility, but even if Winston did know, I can't think of why he would have told Ronnie. Oh, wait, that was Elizabeth. I wasted that sexy voice on nothing. It's a possibility, but even if Winston did know, I can't think of why he would have told her Ronnie. Mr. Collins smiled. Oh, Elizabeth. I'm sure he wouldn't have said anything to be malicious, but sometimes people tell secrets just to get attention. Winston did have a tendency to be a blabbermouth, Elizabeth thought, but he would have had to go out of his way to tell Ronnie, someone he wasn't even friends with, about the letters. Still, she had to admit it was the best possibility so far.
No, it wasn't.
Not a good detective there.
Yeah, unless she took into account the entire track record of her sister, but sibling blindness. I suppose I could ask him, she said. That's using your head. Mr. Collins winked at her as if she'd thought it up all on her own. Elizabeth's knees went weak.
Oh, God.
I'm
Why aren't there rumors
sure-
about this asshole?
I'm sure it'll turn out one way or another, Liz. I'm using your familial name. Enid's hurting right now, and when people are hurt, they want someone to lash out at. Often it's someone they love. Why is that? Elizabeth asked.
Oh my God, is he
basement was flooded.
Is he a fucking psychologist?
Sploosh.
Because the people we love, who love us, are the ones who will forgive us later on
Oh,
when it
yeah.
all blows over.
Say love some more.
Yeah.
Elizabeth looked at him,
Say
a slow
blow.
smile, A slow smile flickering across her features. How did you get to be so smart, Mr. Collins?
God damn it.
He shrugged. Remember, I've been around a few more years than you. Yes, Grandpa, she teased.
Okay,
In the book.
Is that in there?
Yes, Grandpa is in the book.
I thought
But
you
they're flirting the same way the brothers and sisters did
Fuck.
in the first book.
Also, he is flirting way more than fucking
Ms. Dalton.
Ms. Dalton.
Yeah.
Yeah. God damn.
He's
And
like
yet she's the whore.
You know,
Yeah.
Elizabeth is like sitting at a desk, and he's like sitting on her desk, like
He's like on the corner,
like on the corner, like-
jaunty.
like, hey,
Like I
let's rap.
said, her basement's flooded.
Yeah.
Not that long, he laughed. I've got a way to go yet before they put me out to pasture. Besides, how would all you goof-offs get along without me to crack the whip over you? We'd probably turn this paper into the National Enquirer, Olivia interjected. I didn't realize. Oh, I guess she just
Olivia
walked in.
comes into the room.
Olivia interjected as she sailed past.
I was just thinking,
Bear-
like, at the thought of the whip cracking comment, something awakened in Elizabeth's mind.
Yeah.
50 Shades of Sweet Valley.
As she sailed past, bearing an armload of letters she'd collected from the box outside their office. Honestly, you should see some of this garbage. Mr. Collins's expression darkened as he examined a few of the letters she dumped on his desk. This, he said, jabbing his finger at an offending note, is what I call malicious gossip. The worst kind, since it's totally unfounded. I spoke with Nora Dalton this morning in the teacher's lounge, and I can tell you she's pretty upset about all this talk. She's actually made herself sick over it. In fact, she looks so bad, I talked her into going home and getting some rest. I heard she even had some obscene phone calls at her apartment, Olivia said. Bleep. I don't know what I'd do if it were me.
That
Looks
one.
like another gosh. That's
Yeah.
definitely another gosh.
Yeah.
That's an H at the end.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just-
that's a gosh.
Shit.
Yeah, I'm not doing that.
How does she stand it? The best way she knows how. By not giving it more credence than it deserves. I think we should all do the same. With one swoop, he swept the letters into the trash can.
So he's swooping.
Swoop.
Swoop.
Sorry.
Everyone suspected that Mr. Collins had a special
He said,
interest
swoop.
in the
he did.
pretty Miss Dalton. So he had double the reason to be disturbed over what was happening. At least he trusted her, though, Elizabeth thought. I wonder how Kenny's taking it, she mused aloud.
Who gives a shit?
Nobody seems to know.
I wonder how many high fives Kenny's getting in the locker room right now.
His hand is sore. Poor Kenny.
Apparently he doesn't have French kiss.
He's been absent the last couple of days. There's a nasty rumor that he's got mononucleosis from... That's enough. In a rare show of temper, Mr. Collins slammed a book down on the desk.
And everyone's basement flooded.
Haven't you two
Crack
got
that
anything
whip.
better to Haven't you two got anything better to do than talk about this thing? Elizabeth blushed, but she was already blushing, let's be honest.
Yeah, yeah.
Mr. Collins was right. The best way to deal with gossip was just to ignore it. But that was easier said than done when you were on the receiving end. Her heart went out to both Ms. Dalton and Enid. She knew only too well what it was like having conversations end abruptly when you walked into a room, having people looked at you as if you'd just sprouted another head or something. People had treated her like that when Jessica had been, page turn, picked up at an off-limits bar during a wild brawl and had let the police believe she was Elizabeth from the last book.
Oh, I didn't make that far in that. Oh, wow.
Sorry, we had to borrow it again.
Our time ran out.
Does it give you an hour at a time?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Time flies when
Yeah,
technology
what if
sucks.
someone needs to read this at 8:30 p.m. exactly?
Well, if it's anything like Remember Me, people are fucking borrowing this shit right when we wanted to read it.
Why?
Oh,
That
yeah,
book was
that's a
terrible.
classic.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just looking at a bleeped out word on the following page, and
it's
fuck.
gosh again.
That's gosh.
It's fuck.
It's not fun.
Oh,
It does. It
Fuck.
does
The way
kind of
it's
look like
bleeped out,
fuck.
It
it looks
is
like a K.
not
The last letter looks like a
Fuck,
K.
Liz.
Looks
That's
like a K.
Fuck, Liz.
the scribble. It's the
All right.
scribble.
I just want to say real quick. I know we talked about this in the first episode that like the titular secret, I guess.
Go on.
I expect that kind of sass out of Chris.
I was geared up for it. She beat me to it.
But we talked about how like Enid, spilled her guts about the whole like running a child down with a car thing in like the first fucking chapter. And I remember we were saying, if that's the secret, like that's crazy that they gave it away so fast. And now obviously there's a second secret with Miss Dalton and Ken Matthews, but we are more than halfway through this book. Like, are there literally only 2 secrets?
But I honestly don't think that's a secret. I think that's a misdirect. There's no way they're actually fucking.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that they're
She's
definitely
like
not
got
fucking.
I don't know, personal matter at home. And he's probably got mono from kissing some other bitch at school. I don't know.
I just want to say once again, the title of the book is Secrets.
Maybe he's secretly gay and like they have all these rumors about Ms. Dalton. He keeps getting high fives, but he feels terrible.
To like hide it, cover it up. And he's like, yeah, totally fucked her.
Yeah.
But this book came out in the 80s. They're not going to do that.
They had gay people then.
Yeah, I know they did, but like publishers wouldn't agree to it because it was a terrible time.
They're
We'll
just
see.
best friends.
The
We'll see what
Reagans made it
happens.
illegal to be gay.
They did. God.
Anyway, let's continue.
Context.
The next day, everyone at school was smirking behind her back. Elizabeth would never forget what a miserable time that had been. She went back to the eyes and ears column she was working on. News about the upcoming dance. A story about Winston Egbert, the Eggman.
Big dick swinging.
Down a one-way street during driver's ed.
What?
Why is there a story about that poor bastard?
Where's the fucking gossip about Winston Egbert's giant dong?
Well, obviously his dick made him turn down the wrong street.
I like it landed on the pedal. He was like,
I go
oh
where
no.
it tells me.
The Eggman isn't driving this car.
Go where it tells
Oh my God.
me. Is that what he calls it, the Eggman?
No. Little egg.
No, he
That's what we're
calls it the
calling it.
walrus.
Oh, Jesus fucking Christ.
Thinking of Winston, her mind flashed to the last line from George's letter. PPS. Say hi to my buddy Winston. Was Winston really such a good buddy? Elizabeth was determined to find out. Later that same day.
The red herring.
You keep getting these time
know.
jumps.
Meanwhile, at the Hall of Justice.
Sure, Liz. I knew George had been writing to Enid. Winston sat hunched on the bleachers watching basketball practice. This voice is because I wrote down George Egbert weirdo. I mean Winston Egbert.
Yeah.
But I never thought it was any big deal. Like he and Enid were I get the message, Win. You knew that Enid and George were just friends, right? Cool nickname.
Yeah, I know.
That
Quinn.
Enid
Just
was
call
only
him
trying to
Egg.
help George. Yeah. Yeah, that's it. He relaxed underneath all his clowning. Winston was really very shy.
Oh my God.
She took a deep breath. Win, did you by any chance tell Ronnie Edwards about the letters? Winston shot her a startled look. Why would I do anything like that? I hardly even know Ronnie.
Oh my God. What's he got to do with it anyway? He turned his attention back to the court. Hey, check out that drive shot. Way to go, Wilkins. He bellowed. Down to Todd, who flashed him a grin and blew Elizabeth a kiss. But Egbert stole it. Even with his that one's for me.
That's the voice right there.
I forgot that was his voice. Even with his shirt stuck to his chest in sweaty patches, Todd looked beautiful to Elizabeth.
What do you mean even with?
Even.
That's obviously supposed to be sexy.
Yeah, it's like universally sexy.
And again, the basement gets hit.
Shit. The truth is,
Oh, no.
the truth is, she pressed on, someone told Ronnie about the letters, and Enid thinks it was me. Ah, shit, Liz. That's awful, she sighed. Tell me about it. What are you going to do? What I'm trying to do, Winston, is find out who's responsible.
It can't possibly occur to me to be my evil twin.
You don't really think it was me, do you? I don't think you do it to be mean, Win. But I like Elizabeth. I just imagine Elizabeth is like measured and really like just tired of everyone. It's like, oh, fuck. God,
she's
damn
world
it.
weary.
Like she is world weary. Exactly. I just thought maybe you'd let it slip out by accident or something. Nope. I promised George I wouldn't. He figured Enid wouldn't want anyone to know. I mean, she's so straight now and everything. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. Anyway, George is a good guy. He really changed. I can't wait to see him when he gets back. It sounds like I'm tired of him doing that voice. It sounds like he really cares about Enid. Sure he does. What are friends for? Anyhow, in my book, a friend isn't someone who blabs a secret all over the place. I know everyone thinks I have a big dick, but I know how to keep it shut when it counts.
Oh, gross. Elizabeth looked at Eggman with a new respect. She realized she was seeing a side of him that few people were lucky enough to glimpse. It was too bad Jessica didn't see him as the sensitive, honorable person he was, instead of just a nerd who had a crush on her. In Elizabeth's opinion, Winston was far superior to that stuck-up Bruce Patman who roared around in that flashy car of his and acted generally obnoxious. I believe you, Egg, she said, leaning over to plant a kiss on his cheek. Hey, watch it, Egbert, Todd yelled good-naturedly from his position under the basket. That's my girl. Elizabeth couldn't help thinking that if Winston got any redder, they'd have to paint a white line in front of him and use him as a stop sign.
Oh my God.
Hilarious.
I'm actually exhausted from doing that voice.
Well, hopefully he sits a couple chapters out.
I feel like winded.
You're Winston.
I'm Winston. I'm Winston. I got egg-birded.
You got eggs. You got eggs.
I got eggs.
Chapter 10. Todd reached across the table of the dairy burger to lace his fingers around Elizabeth's. But it's like dairy with an I at the end. It's not even a Y at the end.
Oh, what? I was just like, who wants some more milk on their burgers? Who wants another
Valley
milk burger?
couldn't get the rights to Dairy Queen.
Yeah. Dairy burger.
Should have been like the Milk King or something.
The Milk King.
The Milk King.
Hey,
oh my God.
He said, you don't look too happy for someone who's going to the dance tonight with the most fantastic guy on the West Coast. She forced a weak smile. Burt Reynolds is taking me to the dance. I hate everyone. I want to fucking die. Todd laughed. Ha ha ha. That's what I like about you, Liz. Even when you're down, you can always smile. That's upsetting.
That's all. Yeah, that is very upsetting.
Yeah. That's me, all right. Smiling on the outside, crying on the inside. It's too real.
Jesus.
Her smile wilted even as she spoke. Oh, Todd, what am I going to do? I've tried everything and Enid still won't speak to me. The day before, she'd gone over to Enid's house after school, hoping to catch her alone so that Enid wouldn't be able to run away from her.
She hadn't even gotten past the front door. Enid's mother explained that Enid wasn't feeling well and didn't want any visitors. Visitors? Since when had she been just a visitor? She had turned away in tears, so blinded by her hurt that she nearly collided with Enid's little brother as he came barreling up the front drive on his bicycle. You've done what you could, said Todd. If she doesn't want to believe you're innocent, there's not much you can do. Something's wrong, Todd. This just isn't like Enid. She's never stayed mad at me for this long before. If I didn't know better, I'd swear someone was feeding her lies about me. Really?
Who could possibly do that?
Mm.
Oh
Who
my
would
gosh,
want to
she
do a
literally
terrible
said
thing
that.
like that? Todd shrugged as if he stuffed a French fry into his mouth. I mean, obviously your sister, right? Everyone knows. Anyone who's really your friend wouldn't believe a bunch of lies. Oh shit! I'm gonna do that again. Anyone who's really your friend wouldn't believe a bunch of fries. Sorry, I'm eating. Lies. Not for long, anyway. If Enid really cares about you, she'll come around.
Who's this, Todd?
Yeah.
Yeah. Elizabeth sighed. I just hope you're right, Todd. Jess says I'm better off without her, but I really miss her. Well, why the fuck would you listen to your sister? I wouldn't exactly call your sister the world's foremost expert on friendship, said Todd. Look at what she almost did to us. He was referring to the way in which Jessica had manipulated him into thinking Elizabeth didn't care for him and vice versa.
You know, in the
But
last
first
book.
Among other things, Jessica had led him to believe her sister was too busy dating other boys to bother with him. She told Elizabeth a story about Todd attacking her when all he'd done was reluctantly kiss her on the cheek. Did she really?
Yeah,
Yes.
the last book involved
He tried to
like
rape me.
yeah,
Yeah.
like lied about date rape.
My God.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like, first of all, the last book had actual attempted date rape
Yeah.
from
From some
an-
guy in a bar.
an adult at a bar,
ew.
and then Jessica lied to the police and then made up a story about Todd instead about trying to like rape her.
But better cross out the word gosh.
Can't let those goshes loose.
What'd you say about the name Todd?
Nothing?
No, I was just talking about
Oh.
all the shit in the last book.
Todd trusted Jessica
I hate the
as
name
far
Todd.
as he could throw her. At least he's smarter than Elizabeth. God. Elizabeth defended her twin. Jessica means well. It really is nice of her to want to help Enid.
You fool.
I'm not so sure. I don't know.
All right, Todd's not so stupid.
Yeah, okay. I'm on Team
I'm
Todd.
not so
Team
sure.
Todd.
God, I can't do that voice. Anyway, you should go by your own instincts about Enid, not listen to Jessica.
Yes.
I'm not sure I can trust them anymore. This whole thing has gotten me so mixed up. I can hardly see straight. As long as you can see your way straight to going to the dance with me tonight, you're in good shape. High five.
Monica, I believe in you. You can do the voice. You just have to start with the feeling of what? Like what? Like even though he knows what he's saying, he's confused. You can do this.
Okay.
Except he's like laying down the most truth in the whole fucking book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got this.
Just Stop. Okay.
You got this.
Just forget about all this for one night and have a good time, okay? I wish it were that easy. I wish I didn't feel so guilty about having a good time when I know Enid will be sitting home feeling miserable. I mean, I know it's not my fault or anything, but I feel bad anyway. I know what you mean, he said. It's like that time when I was a little kid and my brother I think I'm getting worse.
No, I think it's getting better actually.
It's great.
Yeah.
It's great. Just everything's a question.
Okay. It's like that time when I was a little kid and my brother got sick on Halloween and he had to stay in bed while I went trick-or-treating. Somehow it just wasn't the same. Part of me felt like I should have stayed home too. He grinned and turned into Jessica.
Fucking crushed it.
It's perfect.
God.
It's like a lower pitched. I never remember which one he is, but Keanu Reeves from Bill and Ted.
Yeah.
Which one is he?
Ted Theodore Logan.
It's like a lower pitched Ted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect.
You got you fucking
Yeah.
crushed it.
Guys.
That was you fucking nailed it. Oh my god. He grinned. It worked out for him though, because I ended up giving
No. If you treat every comma like a question mark, you cannot fail.
Yeah, there you go. Because I ended up giving him most of my candy. I'm glad you understand, Todd. She squeezed his hand.
Hot.
I hope I don't act too depressed tonight.
Jesus Christ. Go see a doctor about your fucking anxiety and depression.
Crying on the
It was the
inside.
80s. Those didn't
Yeah,
exist.
yeah, those don't exist. Those aren't things. Those are just you're being hysterical.
This is so
Have a
upsetting.
vibrator.
You have a vibrator.
Jesus Christ. I just read ahead and it's worse.
Goes to show how well you know my tastes, he said, brown eyes flashing. I happen to love depressed blondes.
Gross.
Thanks a lot, Elizabeth said uncertainly. Elizabeth blew a straw wrapper at him. Sorry, it was.
What a sentence to pause on.
I was waiting for it to happen.
No, it was a thing popped up said my internet connection was unstable. That's the ticket. Elizabeth blew a straw wrapper at him, starting a war that quickly escalated and ended up with Todd the victor. 13 wrappers to her 8. Out in the parking lot, he slid his arms around her. Ooh, yeah, dropping a kiss on her upturned mouth. He tasted salty sweet because he had been eating a bunch of caramel. A combination. Oh God!
Every time.
It continues to explain a combination of French fries and vanilla milkshake. Okay, I'm gonna digress
disgusting.
for 1 second. I am 100% against dipping fries in milkshakes.
I agree.
I'm
agree?
into it.
Yes, I agree.
You're into it,
I
Monica.
like salty
Into it.
sweet, but like the hot and cold
Yeah,
bothers
I
me
like-
more
Oh,
than
I'm not
that.
gonna get soggy. Chris, where do you stand?
I like them both on their own, and I respect
do I.
them both on their own enough to where why would I want to ruin either?
The only time I've done that has been with
Right.
Frosties at Wendy's.
3 against 1.
The only-
Well, no,
Yeah, Frosties are popular with the fry thing.
I'm accepting of the dipping Wendy's fries and Frosties, but no, fries are fries, shakes are shakes, and never the two shall meet.
I agree, but I think we're outnumbered. I think most people prefer dipping fries and milkshake,
That's
or not
fine, they
prefer,
can
but
have
like
it.
Yeah,
no, they can have it. I wanted to put it out there for everyone listening that you're all goddamn monsters.
I
Anyway.
want both
Yeah.
fries and milkshakes now.
Oh, me too. Okay. So where were we? Todd tasted like French fries and milkshake. Todd's kisses were one of the things Elizabeth loved best about him because they tasted like French fries and milkshakes. Because he was always just chowing down. And he was like, "Oh, give me a kiss."
you
They
didn't
were-
even need to ad lib, man.
They were like Todd himself, firm but so gentle.
Ooh.
She wished she could stay this way, wrapped in his arms forever. But then later, Mom says that if we don't go to our there we go. I figured it out. I read ahead and I figured it out. Mom says that if we don't get our rooms clean, we're not going to the dance. Jessica attacked Elizabeth with the news as she walked through the door. I just imagine that happening. Elizabeth's like, "Whoa, Jesus fucking Christ!" Like, oh my God.
You know what that means? It means Elizabeth, come clean my room.
Yeah,
Well, yeah,
Mm.
Jessica should be in her room.
could be
cleaning
doing it currently. Yeah,
Mm.
that is so realistic of her opening the door and she's
Yeah.
like, "Can you believe it?" She's like, "Oh my God."
I want to think that Elizabeth's like, my room's already clean.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Can you believe it? It's positively medieval. I feel like Cinderella. Elizabeth shrugged. What's the big fucking deal? Jessica, Jesus Christ. I just walked through the door. Give me a minute. My
Oh,
mouth
man,
tastes like
I
French fries and
relate to
vanilla
that.
milkshake.
Like, just give me a minute getting into the fucking house
Yeah.
before my sibling starts bombarding me with fucking requests.
That's what I'm saying. It's too real.
We've got plenty of time before we have to start getting ready. Easy for you to say, your room is already so disgustingly neat. It'll take me 137 years to clean up mine, she wailed. It's so unfair. Who cares what my room looks like? Nobody ever goes in it except me. And that's hardly ever, said Elizabeth. You spend most of your time in my room, making a mess of it, too. Honestly, Jess, a person is entitled to a little privacy, you know. Elizabeth suddenly lost it.
Fuck.
Jessica murmured. I don't know what it's supposed to be. There's a lot of M's. Shooting her sister an oddly sheepish look. She'd been acting strangely secretive these past few days, Elizabeth thought, wondering what she was up to. With Jessica, you never knew. While Jessica disappeared into the Hershey bar.
What?
Oh, wait.
What?
Wait.
Is she holding it?
They called something in the house the Hershey bar because it was brown. Was it their kitchen or something? I remember something was called the Hershey bar because it was brown and it was revolting sounding, but I don't remember what it was.
Yeah,
I do not remember.
I think it's the kitchen.
Word.
Wasn't important enough to.
It would have been really
callback.
nice for a little bit of explanation,
Yeah.
but okay.
Yeah.
Jessica disappeared into the Hershey bar. Elizabeth set about straightening the few items that were out of place in her room. Mostly that meant books and papers. She was always scribbling something or other, and consequently there were notebooks and typewritten pages strewn about the floor.
She's gonna find a note.
As she stooped to pick up some paper, she caught sight of a piece of pale blue stationery barely visible under the bed. One of George's letters.
Dun, dun,
She
dun.
realized it must have been there all along and felt a sick plummeting sensation in her stomach.
Anyone could have
Couldn't
come
be
along
sure.
and seen it. No, not just anyone. Only one
Uh-oh.
person in this house, besides
no.
their mother, would have gone into her room because her father literally had nothing to do with them. Jessica. Suddenly, it was all horribly clear. She
Kinda
was
like-
certain her sister had read the letter and told Ronnie about it. That would explain the strange mood Jessica had been in for the last week. Elizabeth knew her twin well enough to have a pretty good idea of why she told too, though not up to this fucking point.
I know, right?
Nothing or nobody was going to stand in the way of Jessica getting crowned queen, including Enid. Trembling with rage, she folded the letter and tucked it away in a drawer. She was so furious with Jessica at this moment that she could have strangled her.
Ba, 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 ba.
Are we done?
Yeah,
Revenge.
I know. I was just gonna say, like, ooh, is the last third of this book just like a Tarantino style, like revenge,
Yeah.
like climax?
There has to be something dumped on Jessica at the dance.
Yes!
As revenge.
Yeah.
Oh.
Elizabeth and Enid
Blood
will
of
make
some
up and they'll
sort.
hatch a scheme of some
Yes.
kind.
Yes.
Punch bowl. It's gotta be the
Yes.
Punch bowl. Yeah. Yeah. Awesome. I'm so.
I bet-
Egbert
who-
gets dumped on her at the.
The egg
I was
murder.
just gonna say, who do you
Interpret
think
that any way you want.
actually king
Egbert
and
gets
queen?
dumped on her.
I bet Egbert's gonna be king.
Egbert and Enid.
Oh,
Egbert and I don't know. Maybe Elizabeth. I don't know.
Now they're the dream couple I want.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think it's gonna be unexpected.
It will be unexpected. I think you're right. Yes. This was I love this cliffhanger. I'm so excited to finish
This is
this
a good
book.
one.
I
Yeah.
fucking love these books.
Close the book so we don't read
Crazy.
ahead.
Yeah. Don't look. Hang on. How do I stop sharing? There we go.
I haven't looked at it yet.
Well, goddamn. That was a roller coaster in
What?
so
This
many
episode
more ways
was a
than
roller
one.
coaster.
I know, I was just gonna
Interrupted by
say.
a thunderstorm.
Yeah. Power outage, technical difficulties,
Just build the
sociopaths.
suspense.
More editing than usual in
Oh, I
the below
know.
grade level.
Yeah, that's fine. I was just gonna say I'm not looking forward to it. But like it's barely work. It's fine. That's all fine. Monica, what do you think? What do you think of Sweet Valley?
I really want to know what book Jessica just goes like full on serial killer. Like, it's coming. It's like the next one she starts like they find like little dead animals in a room. And the one after that, like
I feel like I
the burner phone.
the burner phone. I feel like Christine kind of like gave us because Christine's read like all of these books because there's
And
these
remembers them.
That's
yeah.
impressive.
Well, there's Sweet Valley Twins, which is them in grade school, which again I was saying I don't remember if that was before these books or if they did that as like an afterthought.
I think that's the one I read. But yeah, I don't know which came first, but
Yeah.
Huh.
yeah.
I don't
And
even
I
want to
honest-
imagine Jessica in grade school.
I was just about to say
But
baby Jessica.
I feel like it would
Baby
be even
psychopath.
more cruel.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, like, I feel like one of these days we should read, like, we should pick a random Sweet Valley Twins book and read it, just because I'm very morbidly
Like,
curious
what are
to
those
see.
books about? Like her killing neighborhood pets?
Yeah,
Like,
you want to know the backstory of Jessica.
Yeah,
How
Oh,
did she
it
get to
looks
be
like
so
it was
evil?
a spin-off of Sweet Valley High. So Twins came out in 86.
yeah,
Okay.
okay. So
that
that
makes
was
sense
after
if I
these.
yeah. Why I
So they were like, let's capitalize on this fucking awful relationship and get some younger readers.
When
so
did this
emotionally
start? Okay.
So then they're
So they must have
okay.
been doing them simultaneously though, because Sweet Valley
Yeah.
High started in 83.
Okay,
So Twins started in 86.
yeah, and ran simultaneously.
But yeah, Sweet Valley High went on for 20 years.
Jesus
So
Christ.
They had 181 books with Sweet Valley
Holy
High.
shit. Well, so then also, like,
We're gonna read all of
and
them.
we're gonna read every single one of them.
yeah. Until we
Then-
get sued,
And then
until we're told to stop. That's when we know we made it. With this whole podcast.
yeah,
That's
was-
when we know we made it.
If we
is
get a
when
cease
one
and
of the
desist.
authors
Yeah.
Yeah.
tells us, hey, what you're doing's wrong.
Oh,
Stop.
except we keep getting fucking Netflix shows made out of these goddamn shows.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So
Oh man, if they make
Oh
a
man, if
Netflix
someone was
show
like, "Do you want to
the
like
SVU?
you want to convert the SVU to Netflix?" I'd be like 100%.
oh yeah, I'd
Well,
watch that.
At that
Oh,
point,
and then
it'll be confirmed.
speaking of SVU, there's also Sweet Valley University, which is them in college. And then Christine told us there was more books after they graduated college where they're adults, because I'm pretty sure like I think Christine told us that like Jessica cheats on like her husband with like Elizabeth's husband or something like
Oh
that.
my
Like it gets really
Oh,
fucked
no.
up.
Yeah.
But also like
Continues
It's just
path.
like I haven't tormented you enough. I'm gonna find out a new way. Like
I don't know. I could be I feel like I remember her saying something like that. Like the drama never stops. That's the tagline of Sweet Valley, California.
Now I gotta look it up. Oh,
Drama
man.
never stops.
Wow.
Well, yeah, thank you so much for being here with us multiple times. and
Yeah, I
dealing
feel
with
like-
our
It's been
power.
a nice long visit.
tech issues. Yeah, it was an extended stay in Sweet
Yeah.
Valley High.
is there
Um,
anything you would like to promote to our 3 listeners?
Thank you.
Oh gosh. It's been so long since I've like promoted anything. I think I've forgotten how to do it. I have a Patreon. It's just patreon.com/Monica Gallagher, where I have a comic about Bigfoot and other cryptids.
What?
And then I have a comic about
I have a
roller
sweater
derby and
about
werewolves.
Bigfoot.
You have a sweater about Bigfoot?
Yeah.
And you draw like you draw a little bit of adult stuff now too, right?
Only a little. I was
Oh,
all
like
like
a teeny bit.
I was like, "Ooh, I'm gonna like," because I want to practice drawing like naked people and stuff. But I've realized I need a lot of practice. So every now and then, I'm just like, gonna draw this model I found in a catalog and just make him nude. Real sexy,
Real sexy.
real sexy. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have to plug right now. I don't.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, check that out. Check out. I mean, you got other comics. Assassin Roommate was awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's still up on Webtoon. So
Cool.
you can read that. And Boo It Sucks was a comedic sex ed comic about the ghost of a dead sorority girl that teaches girls about sex that I drew and Danielle Corsetto wrote. That was a blast.
Oh, that's awesome. I feel like Elizabeth and Jessica need to read that comic.
Yes, they
Oh my
do.
God. Elizabeth needs she needs like,
Emancipation.
Yeah.
She's a therapist.
Yeah.
She needs to work through some issues
She
and
definitely-
maybe get on some, I don't know,
I feel like the
SSRIs
next,
or
like-
something.
She's gonna start pulling her hair out nervously.
Yeah. Oh my
In the
God.
next
Seriously. Well, that's awesome. And then yeah, listen to more of Below Grade Level and the rest of our podcasts on cactusrodeo.com/podcast, and you can find them all wherever you listen to podcasts. They're all there. Chris.
Including CD Reads and The
Yeah.
Sketchy Show and Movie Club.
Yeah.
And you can follow me on all the things at Chris Z Isn't Funny.
And you can follow me on all the things at John Brack. And I think that's it for plugs. And that's it for this show. So thanks for listening, and thanks Monica for being here with us.
So fun.
Well,
Thanks.
next time when we do a Christopher Pike, we'll have you back on.
Please, I'm
And then-
dying. I'm
and
dying.
then you can
I would
be in
love
like
that.
your total wheelhouse.
Yes.
I don't want
I
to
have
do
some
another
recommendations.
Christopher Pike. That first one was terrible.
Oh, I loved it. I know it was grueling at parts, but I only have good memories of it.
I
I
agree.
liked
There's so
one
many
character.
terrible. Oh,
We
I
did
love it.
2 chapters an episode.
It was hard to get through.
'Cause it was
but
amazing.
It was worth it. A
It
lot
was
of
like
it.
16 episodes.
We're definitely doing another Christopher Pike, Chris. I'm sorry. It was too
I
good.
mean, as long as that detective shows back up, I'm good. But
I don't think
otherwise,
he will.
fuck it.
What if there's crazier shit though?
There is.
Yeah, we'll talk to Monica off air, and she'll recommend us like a good
All right,
Christopher Pike.
so
book.
you're our resident expert in the Pike universe.
The Pike universe, yes.
In Pikeland.
Pikeland.
Do you know he took his pen name from the guy in Star Trek?
Wait, did he really?
Really?
Yes,
That's
his
for
pen
real?
name. Yes. Because when I saw
That's-
Star Trek, I was like, Christopher Pike. And then I realized.
I
Holy
thought it
Because-
was just a
because
coincidence.
Me
We
too.
made that joke constantly.
so many
Yeah.
Oh
times.
my god.
Well, when we were posting those episodes, I was like hashtag Christopher Pike, and I was like, this is all Star Trek.
Yeah.
Like Star Trek is more relevant than Christopher Pike books at this
and
point.
that new show's coming out. With
Yeah, he's
stars
all over the
him
place. Bruce Greenwood played him in those Abrams movies.
Yeah, but
Mhm.
Anson Mount fucking killed it in Discovery.
Okay. I haven't seen
Just
it yet.
so
I'll take your word
no,
for
that's
it.
for the listener, not for
Yeah,
you.
that's fine. I'll take it. All right. Join us next time as we conclude Sweet Valley High #2, Secrets.
Secrets.
Thank you for listening. We love you. Bye.
Bye.
Below Grade Level is a Cactus Radio production. You can contact us at podcast@cactusrodeo.com. Subscribe and follow on iTunes, Stitcher, and Spotify, and follow Cactus Rodeo on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter for more entertainment and updates.
Look the same at Sweet Valley, Sweet Valley. Sweet Valley, Sweet Valley, Sweet Valley. Sweet Valley. You can never really tell which one you're standing next to. One thing is for sure, you can be sure of nothing. Lots of gossip going round about this one, that one. Not too many secrets left in the world.